Hello everyone and welcome back to this thesis presentation tutorials. My name is Dr. Anthony Cliff. Now if you've watched the previous tutorial, it was all about getting to this stage, setting up your thesis so that you have a chapter title and numbers and that all your headings will follow that and they'll all update as you go through. I've also produced one about how to do this for your figures and your tables, so go ahead and have a look at that. So today I'm going to talk about basically how to set up your thesis, including page numbers, headings, subheadings, footers, that kind of stuff mainly. So mainly your headers and footers really I want to talk about today and talk you through how to do that. So before you do that, you do obviously have to get to this stage where you've set up along here your own different headings and the different styles. That's all been locked in now. You've all done that, which is absolutely great, fantastic. As I always recommend, you should set this up and then use this as your template for each individual chapter that you have. So, for example, your introduction, your chapter 1, that should be in its own file, all set up like this. Then your chapter 2 should be your literature review, for example. Again, all set up using this system, so that when we come to bring it all together at the end, that it's all singing from the same hymn sheet. That there's not going to be any formatting errors or anything like that. So, for example, say this is your first chapter. You've set up all your headings, which is great, absolutely great news, fantastic, well done for doing that. However, it's not much good at the moment like that. So, if I show you an example. So as I mentioned in the previous tutorial, that it's really good practice to have your chapter number and the title in the heading as you go through. So obviously chapter 2 methodology, that finishes, then I move on to chapter 3 fieldwork, and then that changes here. So how do you get to that then? How do you go about doing that? So again, it's a really simple process. So if I go back here, so say for example this is your chapter 1. So you've set this up as a brand new document, chapter 1, you've saved it as. If you double click in the top right hand corner, this will add in your headers. So you've got a choice of where you put it. You can use these here, this header function here. And you can use some pre-selected stuff, so you can have, for example, 1 on the top left, 3 across here, some fancy colours, all that kind of stuff. Now I don't personally like this. I personally just do it by hand. But if you want to go ahead and simply click on one of them, type in where the box is, and then you're sorted effectively for your header for that particular one. For me, I don't like doing that. A couple of reasons for that really is, one, I quite like having that customization, making sure that it's in the same font. So if you use those presets, they're not going to be in the same font that you've done. So for example, if you're using Garamond, it might not well be Garamond, it might be Arial, for example. So it's going to look a little bit off. But one of the benefits as well of doing it by hand and doing it personally is you have that control of where you put it, where you shift it, and that kind of stuff really. So, while it is highlighted there, we're going to put chapter 1, and we're going to call that introduction. Now, if I look at my title there, I want that to be a little bit smaller, and I probably want it to be bold as well. So right about there, yeah, that looks fine. Then just click to the left of the C and use your tab key. There we go, and that's going to shift it. So you don't want to use space because that's not going to work throughout the way through. So you've got your chapter 1 introduction there. If you just double click off that, you've now got there in the top right hand corner, which is great. We obviously want to add our page number as well. Similar process, double click on the bottom and then use your page numbers here. I tend to use the presets here for this, so page number, bottom of the page, and then find one that you like, that you want to use. I tend to use the one that has a little squiggle on it, if I can find it. There we go. So tides, but I don't like it because it's too big. So I want to go to home. I want to change this to Garamond, and I probably want that around about 8. Yeah, 8, that's absolutely fine. So that's all changed. I'll double click off it, so now that's there. Now obviously you'll keep typing away, each page number now is going to pop up. You've got your chapter 1 introduction there. We're just typing away, typing away, typing away. And then you see we've got our page 2 there. Now it's really important once you finish this chapter that you add a page break in. So why is that important? Well, it's important because when you come to put this all together in one giant document, which hopefully you'll start working on, if you don't have a page break, by the time you move on to your chapter 2, which might be your literature review, for example, then this heading here is still going to carry on. There's no way for the system to know that it's a new chapter and that this needs to change. So we have to add a page break in. So if you go to page layout along the top, and then here you've got breaks. If you click on that, and then click next page, click on that, that's now brought you down to the next page. So when you're inserting this as a file, so for example, this is your main document, you've just inserted your chapter 1, add your page break in after chapter 1, and it's brought you onto this new page here. So of course this would be your new chapter, for example here, chapter 3. So we want to change this now to relate to chapter 3 because we've moved on. So if you double click here, you'll notice that it says here link to previous. So that's highlighted. We want to click on that so it's no longer linked to the one above. We'll change that to chapter 3. Call that just title for now. We'll click close. So our numbers are the same. Our number is number 3 there. Our chapter 3 title is changed. If we just keep scrolling down as a new page, you can see as we add a new page, our chapter 3 title is there. Again, you would put all that stuff across. Once you've done your chapter 3, page layout, page breaks, next page, that's going to bring you down to that next page. Double click there, unclick link to previous, that's going to be chapter 4, close, and then obviously add your chapter title in, chapter 4. Really is as simple as that. That's so easy to do, it makes it so much better, and it's going to help you as well when you come around to doing your editing. So really simple process to do, and then that's how it's going to look like in practice, something that looks a little bit like that. Really easy to do. It just highlights to the reader that you've taken some care and time into your work, and that it just looks a lot more professional. So super easy to do, and I really do recommend that you do that. And so yeah, good luck in your work, guys, and keep an eye out for these tutorials. Thank you.